All right. System is restarted. The show is restarted. Let's see how it works. If it decides to want to work tonight or not, I don't know. We will see. Well, I'm waiting for everybody to pop on. All right. I see a couple of years back. Well, we'll see if it's glitch free. We just restarted. We don't know. Technology. Yeah, it's not showing everybody's back yet. Well, anyhow, I'm gonna continue on. I was going to have some audio of Kyle, but I honestly I didn't have time to get in. I didn't have time to filter through and get my favorites and stuff like that. So maybe that'll happen sometime later. But either way, this is a tragedy. The man, he, like I said, he didn't deserve to go out like that. Not like that. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, hello again and again and again. Hopefully it actually works. Anyhow, let's move on. Rest in peace, Kyle. And just terrible. All right, I'll be back.
Let's burn it fucking down! Yeah! Back from the dead to tell you that I'm alive. Killed me your way, but I survived. Fuck the blueprint, I'll read inside. Death or exile, you decide. Tell them all that I made my name. Tell them all that I played my way. Found the feeling went face to face. Now it's mine to send up with ways. Right here as it falls, as you go. That's right here as we're on the sky. This right here is as far as you go.
Who are easily offended, put on your safety pins, pussy hats, and leave this radio station. Or you can free yourself and get educated.
Well, hell yeah! I tried to twist him up, but he wouldn't have it. Hell no. This old boy, wow, we about to have to keep this one.
You are listening to the Machine Radio Show with your hosts, Brandon
and Matt.
Talking about a bunch of hobos with fingers in each other's pooper in a stranger's car with talk radio playing really loud. It's going to be a nice evening.
Okay, shit just got real weird. I think I'm going to need a safe space.
What the? Are those friends of yours, Matt?
Oh, hell no.
Are you sure?
Oh, shut your dumpster and start the show already.
Well, all right, pissy pants. Let's do everything you want to do.
I do not. Not yet. But I'm sorry, guys. I did everything I could. It is definitely a hosting service problem. It keeps popping up on here. I just did about 6 crash reports while we were waiting, and sent it to them. Even going through it just didn't help. But all right, let's get back to it. Let's see. Where do I want to go first? You know what? This audio, I'll explain it because some of it's not going to make sense because he's pointing at photos. But the audio is gold. It is absolutely important. It fits right in with the article that I written last week, the one that I read you guys. So it makes absolute sense. And yeah, let's go ahead and play it.
Democrats invoke the pain of the past because they have nothing to offer for the present. They want outrage. They want division. They want
He's not wrong.
Americans to fight each other because chaos is politically useful to them. Words like racism and white supremacy and Jim Crow 2.0. Let's take a...
Yeah, he's already, just swinging right out of the gate, and he's not wrong. Tell me how he's wrong in anything right now. Because that's exactly what to do when racism starts to die. Shit, we can't have that. We gotta do something. We gotta jam it up, and then you have Juicy Smollett type actions and shit. And since we mentioned NASCAR, the Bubba Wallace effect. By the way, I actually don't hate Bubba Wallace. I think he's an absolute douchebag as a person, but he's a hell of a driver. But still, he did the same thing that Juicy, close. Well, not the exact same thing, but he was close to Juicy Smollett. But he's absolutely right. They got to keep that racism going. They don't want it to die because that's how they keep the fear going. Remember what I said when I said that about fear in that article. That's exactly what they're doing. But right now he's going to be pointing at photos. I mean, I guess it'll make sense, but it is audio versus video.
Hard look at what real Jim Crow was. This is Jim Crow. This is what Democrats call Jim Crow. That is Jim Crow. For whatever reason, this is what Democrats call Jim Crow. That is Jim Crow. This is what Democrats call Jim Crow. I know that some of these images can seem to be very jarring to many of us that haven't experienced that over the course of the past 40 years of my lifetime. I never saw these things. I never experienced them personally, but I have family members who have and who did. And that's why it is extraordinarily important for us to be very, very careful with what we compare to Jim Crow, because this country has come a very, very long way.
What he was pointing at was photos of actual Jim Crow, of what happened during Jim Crow. And he's pointing at photos of people handing their ID for a voting card as the Democrats knew Jim Crow. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They keep saying that. They keep ginning up the base. And they keep that fear, that constant fear, because a hollowed out man will understand this sort of thing. If you haven't read my article or heard me talk about the article, you need to either listen to last week's show or read the article. Because it makes absolute sense. But you know what? It's not just us anymore that is absolutely sick to death with this bullshit. With these bullshit labels, with all these fucking lies that they continue telling about people. And they're like, yeah, see him? He's a Nazi. See him? He's racist. You can't, and they can't prove any of it. They're just like, well, everything's rooted in racism, so you're racist. The systemic stuff and all this other shit. They continue to say this over and over and over again. But guess what? The rest of the fucking world is getting tired of this shit too, because it's happening to them as well. The Britons have went off the fucking chain, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I've watched this audio is just a minute and 36 seconds. It's actually the Democrats, favorite villain, Nick Shirley. He was over there. So was Glenn Beck, by the way. Glenn Beck was also in Britain for this. There was a lot of others, but a lot of people were blocked out of it. They were told that they were on the no-fly list for 1 day. Do not enter the country list for 1 day, just that day. Yeah, that's actually a real thing. But remember, this is the same country that the police department said, if you talk bad about Britain, and we'll have you extradited. And I'm like, where's my fucking vacation? I've been making fun of you for years. I'm 176% sure I could give a flying fuck what you say. This is America, bitch. This ain't Britain. As much as the Democrats would like it to be Britain, it's not. But here's the audio for you.
Your sign says...
Nick Shirley!
Oh, hello.
Oh, my goodness. Hello, Nick Shirley.
Nice to meet you. Your sign says, we did not vote for open borders, digital ID, higher taxes, two-tier policing, loss of free speech, pedophiles in politics, higher cost of living, Starmer out, restore Britain.
Yeah.
What's your message to Keir Starmer today?
Keir Starmer's a wanker. Everything in the mandate is backtracked on. He's added things in that wasn't mandated, like digital ID. It doesn't listen to the British public. He's just had a landslide vote, and he still is ignorant.
He needs to go.
He needs to stop branding hard-working Brits as far right. We just want to be heard, and he's ignoring us.
How do you feel about the mass surveillance here of your government?
I feel like if you can do that to your own people, why can't you monitor more closely the people you're letting in who are abusing our women and children, who are taking taxpayers' money, who are living better lives than the people who are working really hard in this country, who live here, who are proud of where we are. We don't oppose immigration. We just don't want to have them prioritised above us. We're losing our culture and identity. It's not fair. We've had enough.
And why do you think Keir Starmer and your politicians are calling people out here racist, saying this is pushing division here inside the United Kingdom?
I wish I knew the answer to that question, but I really don't. I ask myself this all the time. All I know is he's not serving the British public, and these numbers prove it.
Sound familiar? Does it sound familiar at all? Does it? Because it does to me. It sounds exactly like what's going on here with the left. They want to prioritize the immigrant. They don't give a fuck about you, and they give a fuck less about the homeless, and especially the homeless veterans. They'll bring them up for talking points, but have you seen them do anything about it? No. None. And when anybody brings up a bill or anything said, anything said, we could do it. Oh no, we got to shoot that down. because that's against the immigration. And we're dealing with that here in the state of Illinois because didn't you know we're a fucking sanctuary? Chicago especially, sanctuary city. Yeah, it's not turning out very well, and I got some Brandon Johnson for you on that one. No, yeah, you're right, Dennis. He said so. He's a politician politicking. Nothing new there. Same slow descent, but not hidden anymore. No, it's not hidden. It is absolutely out in the open, and they don't fucking care. Just like here in the States, we've talked about this before at great length. In fact, it was a 2-hour show on how on what we talked about along these lines. Is they say, well, you voted them in, so that's your representative. Yeah, you're represented. No, you're not. You're not represented. You put these fuckers in, and then they do exactly the opposite of what you want. They just do what they want. They will cater to less than 3% of the population to screw the rest. They do not care about you. And this is the same thing that's going on over there. It's the same pattern. The same thing up in Canada. Same thing in France. I would probably throw Germany, in there somewhere as well. But that is the whole thing, especially here. Is that, they're elected officials, so that's your representation. You're being represented. No, we're not. If we were being represented, they would actually listen to us. They would actually hear what we're saying instead of labeling us as, anti-immigration or racist or, some sort of phobic ism or ist. No. They do not care. You're giving them a paycheck to fuck your eyeballs out. Period. Tell me I am wrong. And I don't even know. I mean, according to the analytics, about 2/3 of the people that were listening are not listening because they probably got tired of the reset. Oh. Ooh, that's some leaded stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely delicious, but man, that's some strong stuff. 7-year-old 120 proof rye. Well, I didn't think you guys would disagree because I can't find a reason why you would. I've had people try to disagree. I mean, even in public, and I've kind of shut them down a little bit. I was like, okay, well, if that's how you think, then we went through it, and I'm like, so what do you think? Oh no, I still think that I was like, so no amount of evidence is going to change your mind. But then again, I run into that all the time. I run into that just the other day. And I won't get into what I said or anything because that's a topic for another show. But it's related to anti-Semitism and people's piss poor outlook on the Jewish faith. And like I said, we'll get into that later because I'll have to lay it out for you like I did there. But I got tired of hearing the bullshit because there's such a thing called evidence in history, and they don't have either. But I feel for the British people. I do. I feel for the other countries around the world, like I said, like Canada, like France, Germany, stuff like that. I feel bad for them all because most of them are doing this. And they're too stupid to realize that they're ushering in their own downfall. Yeah, you heard me say it. This is the ushering into the downfall. The problem with that is there's at least 50% of the country that will still believe whatever they are told. They're the hollowed out person. The hollowed out person is an empty vessel. They wait to be told what they believe. And then no matter what it is, they will absolutely believe it. And with great zeal, repeat it. Repeat the lie, repeat it often, people start to believe it. That's why you have hair propaganda minister Jeffries, of all people, in Congress. That is the biggest absolute douchebag I think I've ever seen in political history. And people still believe him. But then again, there's people out there that believe The View. That's got to be the dumbest group of henhouse bitches I've ever seen. And yes, I know I'm gonna get yelled at for that. Oh, that's sexist. No, they're women, aren't they? And they're dumb bitches. I'm not saying that all women are. I'm saying that they are. There's a difference. And if you watch that show for 15 minutes, you figure it out really quickly that none of them have an IQ above 70. They say some of the absolute dumbest shit. And when they are proven absolutely wrong through history, through evidence, everything, they will double, triple, and quadruple down on what they said. It's not, how does somebody get their information from places like The View? It's absolutely mind-boggling. But before we get into the next part of this, we'll take a break. Yeah, why not?
Insanity again and again. Like a ring of seasons, flooding the shadows below. In this moment there is pain in our eyes. All that we have left, we will die for. I finally feel like I can breathe again. Take a moment to absorb the consequence of taking the fall. I
You, sir, are not one of my vassals. Who are you?
I am the machine.
What? I'm the machine! Okay!
You are listening to the Machine Radio Show.
Not your daddy's conservative talk radio.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
I'm the machine! Fuck that bitch. This is... Tonight you party with us, yes?
Okay! Yeah! Yeah! Ah, skate!
All right, I am back, and let me get the audio up for Brandon Johnson. Where is it at? Uh-huh. Yeah, this is an exchange between Brandon Gill and Brandon Johnson about sanctuary cities, among other things. It's about 4 minutes and 21 seconds long, so we're going to have to dig through it.
Mayor Johnson, I want to start with you. One of your first actions as mayor was establishing a deputy mayor for immigrant, migrant, and refugee rights. I want to ask you a series of questions. If you could answer with a yes or no answer, that'd be great. First of all, do you support allowing illegal aliens to obtain driver's licenses?
Yes.
Just yes or no?
So the city of Chicago has been a welcoming city for over 40 years.
I'll take that as a yes. Next question.
Yeah, it's a yes. We've already went through this. We went through this like almost a decade ago. License for illegals and Motor Voter Registration Act. They go together.
The policy that we will hold to.
Do you support tax dollars subsidizing or paying for the health care of illegal aliens?
I support investments in all residents of the people of Chicago, and that's what I do.
That's a yes as well. Do you support free or reduced college for illegal aliens?
I support the investments of all residents of the people of Chicago.
That is a yes. Next question. Do you support allowing non-citizens to vote in local elections?
Of course.
Again, I'm not over the jurisdiction of that type of law, but again, I'm committed to investing in all residents of the people of Chicago.
I'll take that as a yes. I've got an article from the Chicago Sun-Times, and I'll quote here briefly. Johnson proposed, among other things, that all residents, regardless of citizenship status, be able to vote for Chicago Board of Education members. Next question.
Yeah, I don't give a shit if it's a Board of Education members or if it's members of Congress. No, they do not have a right to vote. We've been through this before. I've already talked about this, that we are the only country on the planet that is allowing this shit, allowing migrants to vote. We are. I think Britain kind of has fallen into those lines too, but yeah, we do. And they want to expand upon that. They have said so.
Your website states, and this is your campaign website, quote, "I will not stop fighting until abortion access is completely secure for people all over the country," end quote. Yes or no, do you support taxpayer-funded abortions for illegal aliens?
I support the reproductive rights of all people, all women.
That is a yes as well. Your mayoral transition website mentions support for creating a Chicago Board of Education non-citizen advisory board. Again, yes or no, do you support
non-citizen advisory board? In other words, they'd be advising us, the country that they escaped to, on how to educate children. No. Flat out fucking no.
appointing non-citizens to government advisory boards?
Oh, hell, they're making non-citizens police officers in Chicago.
I was invited here today to discuss welcoming
yes
cities.
or no?
I was invited here to discuss welcoming
This
cities.
is a yes or no.
If you're interested in asking me
You're not
questions
gonna
about the
filibuster.
welcoming
I'll
city,
take that as a
I'm
yes.
happy to
We're gonna
answer
move
those
on.
questions.
No, we're going to move on. As you know, President Trump, unlike the previous administration, has taken serious action to bring foreign criminal gangs to justice, to take our border back and to restore public safety in our communities. He designated 8 transnational criminal organizations and cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. These are groups like Tren de Aragua, MS-13, Sinaloa, other of some of the most grotesque and ruthless and brutal organizations in the world. You, as mayor of a sanctuary city, have been virtually giving favors to illegal aliens. Apparently, you support an enormous amount of taxpayer resources going to them as well. But you yourself have also received a lot of gifts. And for those of you who don't know, Mayor Johnson has a secret gift room that is not given access to the public or for access to the Office of Inspector General. June 12th, 2023, you received Hugo. Do you know who gave you that? Gave the city of Chicago that? You're receiving an enormous amount of gifts, and you won't even tell us who they're coming from. That raises serious ethical concern.
Yeah, what do you think about that? I know it's an older clip, but it plays into exactly what we've been talking about. It's amazing, isn't it? And the same thing is happening in Britain. I'm going to keep saying that because we played the clip from Britain. They're prioritizing everybody else but you, the person who actually puts money into the system, the person who works hard their entire lives to have some resemblance of a good life. You'd have a much better life with lower taxes, wouldn't you? Well, you can't have lower taxes when they're paying for their lofty ideals, especially here in the state of California. You're not allowed. And Governor Fatshit, when I said, well, everybody should suspend their fuel tax, he's like, no. How would I pay for my roads and my bridges? Motherfucker, you haven't paid for them yet. We talked about this a long time ago, too, about Madigan and his fucking, tribute to driving on the King's Highway. The toll booths. There's toll booths all the way around Chicago. I'm talking well over 10 years ago. I went to go to a friend's house, and I had to take the highway around Chicago to get to his place. It cost me $18 to get to his house. $18 to leave. That's stupid. Every time I go to Wisconsin, I get gigged. And Madigan, he's the guy that's in prison now for corruption. He said, "Oh, we'll put him up for a few years, and this won't be a permanent thing." Guess what? That was almost 30 years ago. They're still there. You have allowed rampant gambling. You know, I mean, every fucking gas station from here to Chicago has a gaming parlor in it now. You said, oh, those taxes for that's going to help. So where'd the money go? And then we go, and then, you know, legalizing marijuana, which I don't give a shit if you smoke, but don't do it in the fucking parking lot. Don't do it next, you know, be one, more respectful about it. Two, don't drive when you do it. It's still an intoxicant, you fucking idiot. Where'd all the taxes from that go? That was supposed to do everything. Oh, it's not doing shit. There is no tax as a temporary tax. Well, you haven't seen anything that, or at least the governor hasn't seen anything that he doesn't like to tax. He wants to tax streaming services next, and social media and everything. He wants to tax every fucking aspect of your life. He's too stupid to understand that, you know, it all adds up. That's the reason why we have the highest overall tax burden in the country. As if I can get this to do anything. Because I see it keeps cutting off again. Let's see, where's it at? Yeah, I haven't played this for a while.
This is the home of the brave, but there's so many people fully greed. No more order 'cause we're busy being led on by the fact we can't control what we see. I'm stuck between tomorrow and next week, but it's right where I'm at, that's what's best for me. But as it stands, all the problems that we can't let be, it's why divided we fall in the land of the free.
Man, I'm sick of all the anger, the hate, the hate's the danger, the things we seem to think we think are really not that major. There's problems in the world that we don't hardly understand, yet we bitch about them, talking about we got the massive plan. Man, the problem is we don't really even love each other. When we see a brother, we just really tolerate each other. It's a cold world, it's time to face the facts. If we don't step up and make a stand, we gon' stay on our ass. Man, I can't turn on the news without a poisonous agenda. I don't trust the politicians much as I don't trust the system. Man, I used to think the country meant that united we stand. Now we drop and stomp a flag as if it's only just a brand. I ain't cool with that, you cool with that, then we ain't the same, and that's fact. I'm a patriot and I'm proud as hell, I'm a country boy and I know it well. Round here we grind our ass off, we say shit with our mask off. If it don't sound right, then we're down to fight, 'cause we ain't never been one to be passed off.
This is the home of the brave, but there's so many people fully greed. No more order 'cause we're busy being led on by the fact we can't control what we see. I'm stuck between tomorrow and next week, but it's right where I'm at, that's what's best for me. But as it stands, all the problems that we can't let be, it's why divided we fall in the land of the free.
I've rode bikes, I got scars, I've had fights, I've seen stars, I've got up, I've got down, I'm living my best life. I've seen the world crumble at the hands of a few. A whole lot of problems from my point of view. I'm trying to think positive, living my life, but the world keeps on promising struggle and strife. I'm lost in my hope and I'm broken inside, but this song is my freedom and battling cry.
This is the home of the brave, but there's so many people fully greed. No more order 'cause we're busy being led on by the fact we can't control what we see. I'm stuck between tomorrow and next week. But it's right where I'm at, that's what's best for me. But as it stands, all the problems that we can't let be. It's why divided we fall in the land of the free.
Who are these fucking guys?
So hot right now.
Don't shove it up.
Showtime. Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch.
Oh, they're not stupid. They're not full of shit. They're fucking nuts.
Whatever, dumbass.
This is to experiment.
Fuck you, buddy.
What's the problem here?
Because.
Oh, the baddest shitheads.
You know, I love them.
Join the show, motherfucker!
All right, I'm back, and look at that. She's late as hell, but she's here. Hey, Angie. All right, let's see. What else want to go with here? Well, since we're talking about waste of taxpayers' money, we'll probably be doing that more than once. "30 seconds long. Ayanna Chrome Dome Presley, the bald woman, you know, the crazy person. She has a lot to say. It's never anything intelligent, but she has a lot to say. And here's some of it. And this is where she wants your taxpayers' money to go.
Not one promise has been kept to black Americans in this country when every bit of prosperity you enjoy was built on our backs. 400 years of
Every bit of our prosperity was built on their backs. No, actually, that's not true. Your history is very rusty.
labor. We are long overdue for reparations. I'm proud to be the lead sponsor of H.R. 40. Black folks are certainly deserving of redress and reparative work, and one bill will not undo centuries of harm.
Show of hands here real quick. How many of you have met a slave? How many of you have owned a slave? Oh, wait. I mean, if you've met one, you need to be a psychic medium. And if you've owned one, that's even weirder. Just saying. Nobody? That's because, you know, she's just such...
You are the kind of club-toting, raw meat-eating, me-Tarzan, you-Janin, big ball bubblehead that can only count to 10 if he's barefoot or wearing sandals.
We have had a very in-depth conversation about this, too, in the past. No. You're not getting reparations. No, you're not. The natives didn't get reparations. You're not getting reparations. None of you were slaves. None of you, nobody, you know, here alive today was a slave. Nobody here alive today owned slaves. So, no. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Like I said, the natives aren't getting it. You're not getting it. No. That'd be another example of a waste of taxpayers' money. But then again, this is the same type of bald woman that seems to think that slavery still exists and that, you know, that racism is absolutely rampant. It's the opposite. As per statistics in real world, it's not. Does racism still exist? Yeah. Is it the way they say it is? Not even close. Absolutely not even close. But either way, they're not getting taxpayers' money to pay for that. Sorry, that's not going to happen. And since I played that, I got 2 minutes and 29 seconds of a Cuban congresswoman absolutely flatlining Maxine Waters on socialism and communism. You know, because taking other people's money and doling it out to others that's exactly what it is.
A program in housing. Oh, we could go on about this all day, but I reserve the balance of my time so I can rest a bit, let them say what they want to say so I can come back and tell them.
Hold on. I'm going to restart that so you can hear the beginning real quick.
A program in housing. Oh, we could go on about this all day, but I reserve the balance of my time so I can rest a bit, let them say what they want to say so I can come back and tell them what they need to hear.
Oh, so she can tell them what they need to hear.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If there is someone who has seen the horrors of socialism up close within the Democratic Party, it's in the House, and it's the Honorable Congresswoman Maxine Waters. And I would love for you to support this resolution specifically because, Madam Waters, for decades you traveled to Cuba dozens of times to visit Fidel Castro personally, whom you consider your friend. Congresswoman Waters was in Havana and she saw the destruction of biblical proportions that Castro caused on that island, who at the time in 1960 had the highest per capita income in the Western Hemisphere. At that time, Madam Waters knew that thousands and thousands of Cubans were escaping on a raft, exposing their lives and their children to be eaten by the sharks. She knew that Afro-Cubans were being beaten on the streets of Havana,
Address the chair.
discriminated against by Fidel Castro, Mr. Speaker. And for that reason, I am bringing up all these facts because Madam Waters knew that the Cuban jails were full of political prisoners, and the Cubans did not have the same privileges that we are having right now to speak freely. At that time, Madam Waters never raised her voice to denounce the horrors of socialism, Mr. Speaker. For that reason, I am asking Madam Waters.
For what purpose the lady from California seeks recognition?
I move to take her words down.
Of course you do, because they're kicking your ass.
Order. The House will be in order. The lady from California, for what purpose do you rise?
I rise to take down her words.
Objection is heard.
And denied.
Objection is withdrawn.
The objection is withdrawn. The gentlelady from Florida.
I love the sarcasm that Congresswoman gave when she was saying it was Maxine that did all this. I like it. I think she did a very, very good job. But I don't think that Waters actually let any of that sink into her head because it's empty to begin with. First off, let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back to the 1959 revolution. Okay, let's go all the way back there. You know they executed thousands of people by firing squad, right? They did. At first, they were mostly targeting the soldiers and officials of the overthrown regime, which is the Batista regime. Sorry. I'm trying to remember all this because it's been forever. And I really didn't write down any notes this time. I kind of read over my. It's on my other hard drive. It's at home, so I'm trying to remember a little bit about what I'm saying. The only thing I have up here is not the stats that I'm using right now. But they murder dissidents, counter revolutionaries, even some of their own allies. They did. That's just the beginning. Then you got other incidents of extrajudicial. I can't speak. Extrajudicial. It's the word. Killings and massacres. One of them that pops into my mind is the DeMarzo tugboat massacre. The Cubans sent out vessels and they rammed this tugboat multiple times and even blasted some of the people off the tugboat with like water cannons. 37 people drowned, including children. Then you can get into the imprisonments, the deaths in custody, holy shit. I can't think of the last one, but I'll get moving on because I got the notes for the rest of it, though. Okay, what I write down here? I kind of wrote down, the political repression stuff. Suppression of free speech, free expression, all that stuff. The government monopolized all mass media. And they restricted freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and they, that aligned with the goals of the society. Independent journalists frequently face severe harassment, arrest and imprisonment, and even murder. Political prisoners, throughout their history, tens of thousands of Cubans have been incarcerated socially on their political beliefs. When was that? I didn't write it down. I know what it is, the Black Spring, but I don't remember when it was. I know it was in the 2000s, but I don't remember what year in the 2000s it was. The state arrested 75 independent journalists, librarians, and human rights offenders, sentencing many of them up to 28 years in prison during summary trials. I'll have to look up what year that was because I honestly don't remember. I just know it was early 2000s. The Cuban Criminal Code was another thing that I wrote down. It included an Orwellian provision allowing the state to imprison individuals before they had committed any crime and if their behavior was deemed to contradict the socialist norms, effectively punishing anyone viewed as a potential threat to the state. Absolutely zero judicial independence. The system lacked any independence and was subordinated directly to the executive branch and the Communist Party, leaving citizens with no recourse against state abuses. Economic controls and failures. State control and the inefficiency it caused. The state seized control of over 90% of economic activity. They nationalized private property, businesses and farms, fixed wages. Sounds like New York, doesn't it? Total lack of market incentives led to severe drop in labor productivity and economic stagnation. Sounds like New York, doesn't it? Sounds like Illinois, doesn't it? Agricultural collapse. Despite sweeping reforms, state monopolies on resources and distribution made by made agriculture extremely inefficient. they have to import now the vast majority of what the population consumes, even though they have very rich, fertile soil. They have a very big dependence on foreign aid. The severe flaws in the economy were masked by massive subsidies. You know, like what New York just did. Everybody thinks, oh, he balanced the budget. See how good socialism is? He didn't balance the budget. He borrowed from another motherfucker. He didn't balance anything. But they got massive subsidies from, of all places, the Soviet Union. But of course, when the Soviets collapsed in, I didn't write that down, so I got to remember, 1991, Cuba's economy itself crashed as well. They experienced food shortages, fuel shortages, rolling blackouts, and drastic drop in the average daily caloric intake of the population. Venezuela. To try and manage these chronic shortages, the government relied on a highly restrictive rationing system. Because state rations were never enough to survive on, the vast majority of the population was forced to risk imprisonment by turning to black market for basic necessities. And that's no shit. One of the guys I know is a Cuban dissident. And he was very, very, very upfront about that part. You know, they suppress and basically heavily criminalize private enterprise. You know, they stagnated the growth of that through heavy taxation. New York. You know, the darling Memdani. Sounds a lot like him, doesn't it? But anyhow, I brought all this up because of hearing Maxine Waters and her little speech about all these social programs, these socialist programs and stuff like that, and Cuba, mentioning Cuba and talking about Cuba. And there was the Cuban congresswoman going, "The fuck are you talking about?" I think she did a really good job, bitch slapping Waters. But Waters doesn't know anything about Cuba. She doesn't care to know anything about Cuba. If you've seen her own area that she resides over, it's a shithole too. But anyhow, I just wanted to bring that up because it was, relevant in a way. But we got a few other things that we're going to get to. So. So we'll jam out to a song and then get back to work. I just don't know what to play this time, though. Damn. Got tunes in here. I just don't care to play any of them. Sucks. I need some new shit. Oh. I'd play that one, but it's really, really, really long. So no, I won't play it. It's like 7 minutes long. Oh, damn thing. All right, I'm back. All right. Now let's get to the amazing breathing potato, otherwise known as the GOAT AOC. Fight another civil war.
It is time for the North to pull up to the South. It is time for New York to pull up to Alabama. It is time for all of us to come to Georgia, to Louisiana, to Tennessee, to Mississippi, and let them know exactly what they have uncorked with this injustice.
Do you need me to play that again? It's time for the North to pull up to the South. How fucking stupid is she, really? Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that shit out. She is absolutely just,
One crazy ass bitch.
But think about what she just said there, and let's discuss this. We need New York to go to Alabama. You do realize they won't come back from there, right? The Alabama farms would be very fertile for a long time. But at any rate, saying something this fucking stupid is exactly the rhetoric that we continue to talk about the vile, dangerous rhetoric that the left seems to love, which was also mentioned in the article. But seriously, what do you guys think about that? Honestly, isn't that one of the most impressively stupid things? And I mean, it's not even done yet. I've got another clip that I actually repeated on purpose, at least parts of it to repeat on purpose, to show just how stupid she is. But what do you guys think about this? There, maybe that'll help him out. I know. I played that. DeSantis told hair propaganda Mr. Jeffries to come on down to Florida. Yeah, there is. You remember that Johnny Depp movie where he buried somebody in his garden and was sitting there eating the corn at the end of the very juicy corn at the end? That's pretty much what it's going to be like. I'm sure we can call up the ladies from Fried Green Tomatoes and the secrets in the sauce again. But like I said, that's not even the rest of the dumb shit that she has said. But I kind of took one and put it on repeat just to base this out. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask again. I'm not saying anything else that could be used against me later in court. Oh, come on, Alan. You can keep repeating that line, but taxes are a way of life. There should be less taxes. Some things shouldn't be taxed, but taxes are unfortunately going to be in your life forever. Even if we got exactly what we wanted, there would still be some sort of tax. But I get it, and I don't really like paying an overabundance of them. So I understand what you're saying, but it's just not going to work the way you want it to. But let's here we go. Here's the last part of the clip from her though that I kept.
Because what they thought was the final blow is actually just the opening silo. The opening silo. Silo.
Yeah, she said
Because
that.
what they
It's just the opening silo. It's the salvo, you fucking idiot. You uncultured drink pushing bitch. Seriously, you are just a dumbass. I mean, you're calling for outright, wanting to send people down and start a civil war again, to agitate your crowd. And then you can't even say the right things. Like, it's the opening silo. Oh, these people run our government. And I mean, her claim was, I was just leaning into political combat metaphors. I'm like, oh yeah, you guys are always talking about the vile rhetoric and everything else like that, which has never been against you, but you continuously do it. We prove that you do it. We have like hours of audio bites of that. You come and do this shit. I mean, she even tried using the fucking World War II line. I mean, she tried. She's like, you have awakened the sleeping giant. There is no sleeping giant. You motherfuckers are still so far asleep. Your heads are so far up your fucking asses, the lump in your throat's your nose. But they're quite literally using, like geographic imagery of the Civil War for what she calls her opening silo, her political combat rhetoric. I got nothing for this. I don't. I mean, sometimes there's shit's just so fucking stupid it gives you the Forrest Whitaker eye and you have no response to it. Yeah, let's be clear. The Democrats started it, not once, but apparently they want to do it again. They want a rematch. Remember again, referencing the hollowed out citizen and how people actually believe that the Democrat Party somehow is, the party switch. There is no fucking party switch. There was never a party switch. The worst thing that you guys have, who Strom Thurmond, that's it. This is how stupid they are. Like, yeah, the party's just switched. I'm like, no, they didn't. Like, you mean to tell me that after all this time, the birth of the Republican Party and everything to stop slavery and, and all the fighting and all the bloodshed and everything else like that against their fellow countrymen to stop slavery. And they're like, you know what? Maybe we were wrong. Let's just switch places. That's how stupid you people sound. They didn't win the last one. Oh, I know that, Christina. Virginia and Alabama and everything. Yeah, we know. I get what you're saying. I was just playing off of that with the whole Civil War thing. Sorry. But anyhow, that's really all I got. So, what do you guys want to talk about for the next couple of minutes? Because we got a few minutes left before we exit. Before I exit, before we part ways, I'm gonna go ahead and get the outro set up. I am absolutely tired now. Crap. But I'm willing. One thing I'm going to say, I forgot to say at the beginning with Kyle Busch. I'm hoping that both IndyCar and NASCAR this weekend have something for him, like an in memoriam or something. Yeah, well, your boyfriend's gay. No, I see. What I'm saying about the taxes and everything is taxes are always going to be a part of your life, regardless of what we do. I don't think there should be property taxes because you actually own the property. I don't think you should be taxed on things that you already own. I don't think there should be an income tax, but that's just my opinion. But all right, guys, I am going to get out of here for tonight. I'm starting to fade pretty quick, and I'm got to deal with a couple things before I actually leave out here. But it's been an okay show, I guess. But minus all the hiccups with the hosting program having an aneurysm about every 3 minutes. But definitely thank you guys for sticking it out. It's awesome. And, as per usual, tell your friends, tell us friends to tell 5 friends. Let's kick the algorithm in the balls. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining me. And I am out of here.
We spend our lives left out in the rain as you stand dry behind the window pane. You try to understand us, you have no clue. So I took a bat and I broke the glass. You're exclusive but you have no class. Never been first but we're built to last and we're not afraid of you. Born to make you uncomfortable. Our hate is unconditional. Coexistence is impossible and we're coming for you. With a black flag covering the religion true. Raise a black flag, pledge allegiance to our roots. With a black flag covering demolition crew. You can see on me and I'll be back on you. You spend your life sheltered in the shade. We stood in the ruins as the fires blaze. You tried to dull our shine, but we refused. So I took a knife and I made the cut. $1 million smile that you can't stitch up. You're the diamond and we're the rust. Trick it with your silver spoon.